Ladies and gentlemen, let us now begin the Q&A session, for which we are now joined by our expert panel of senior BOI officials. For this discussion, we have selected questions that we received from our audience via the registration portal, as well as questions that were directed to us today through our chat box. To begin the session, our first question for the day: where could we set up our facility in Sri Lanka? Can you share more information on upcoming IT parks? This question will be answered by Mr. H.M. Jayasundara, Engineering Approvals and Special Projects Department.
Well, as our Director General mentioned, commercial spaces are available within recently developed commercial properties in and around Colombo, as well as in Kandy, Kurunegala, Negombo, and Anuradhapura. So most of the mixed development properties are BOI approved projects. As a result, we are in a position to help investors to easily find suitable spaces for their projects. I believe our rates are the reasonable rates are offered by these developers. So we are in a position to help them find suitable spaces. Further, BOI has planned to set up 3 dedicated IT zones, one in Kerala, Gampha district, about 30 kilometers away from Colombo, in a 125-acre land plot, BOI owned land, and again in another one in Kandy, close to Kandy Industrial Park, and another one in Suriyava. We have 480 acres in Suriyava BOI owned land. So we are in the process of developing these 3 zones for IT related investments. Optionally, the investors can either lease out entire land and develop themselves, or take whatever the small portions they want for their projects. Additionally, the government has initiated another 5 technoparks within the country. Out of them, 2 are being implemented, one in Kurunegala and other one in Galle. So the investors have an opportunity to set up their projects in those technoparks as well. Even the port city has a dedicated land areas for this kind of investments. That is also another possibility. In all, we are in a position to help investors to find suitable spaces within the country wherever they want. So I believe I have answered your question.
Thank you, sir. Next question: how to find the required skilled labor force from Sri Lanka? What is the general cost of labor and utilities? This question will be answered by Mr. Manoj Kasir, Promotion Department.
Well, in Sri Lanka, we do have 17 universities, 2 campuses, 20 higher educational institutes, and 32 degree awarding institutes, where you will have 25,000 graduates passing out annually. And this includes IT graduates as well. And we have 7,500 postgraduates also passing out annually from these institutes. Apart from that, we do have 10K government schools operating in Sri Lanka, which have 4 million students studying in there, and 650 students sitting for their O-level, which is grade 10, and out of which 400K students will study for their A-levels, which is 10+. And with the subject technology being a subject in 10 plus, you can find good, say for your projects, good candidates from this group. And we do have 90 private schools operating, and we have 136K students studying in there, out of which 17K will sit for A-levels. And when you take the cost, as you might observe in our DG's presentation, a software engineer will cost you 6,600 USD, and an accountant will cost you 3,900 USD, and a business analytic will cost you 4,000 USD. A customer support specialist will cost you 2,600 USD. The lowest productivity adjusted labor cost in the region. And also we are the lowest salary inflation in Asia. I think that answers your question.
Thank you, sir. Next question. Can a BOI company be set up with 100% foreign ownership? How long does it take for a foreign investor to set up a BOI company? This question will be answered by Mr. Sudat Jayasekara, Promotion Department.
Yes, foreign investors are allowed to 100% ownership in IC sector. The time taken to set up BOI companies within a week, if the line agencies are approved. Also, we have set up Investor Facilitation Center on 23rd floor of the BOI head office, facilitate investors to connect with the other line agencies to ensure approval in the shortest period time. Hope your question is answered.
Thank you, sir. Next question. How can we bring the foreign money into the country to be used as capital prior to registration of the business under the BOI? This question will be answered by Mr. Piyadeva Karunatilaka, Promotion Department.
Yeah, any potential foreign investor who is willing to set up a entity or business in Sri Lanka, willing to channel the money through to Sri Lanka, will have to go through the Sri Lankan commercial banks. So the account that will be required will be an inward investment account. Inward investment account, which could be opened in any commercial bank in Sri Lanka, which could be used for the subsequent issuance of shares, the required quantity for the potential company. And this issuance of shares could be handled through the coordinated through the Inland Revenue Department of the Sri Lanka.
What is the procedure for BOI companies to obtain a visa? How can we obtain a long-term business visa, working visa, and residence visa? This question will be answered by Mr. Krishanta Brito, Investment Appraisal Department.
Yes. Considering the request of the company, the BOI recommends business visas, residence and work visas for the investors and foreign workers to do the work in Sri Lanka. The period of the visa will be depend on the applicant request. So as our DG said, the strengthening our facilitation process, we recently introduced 5-year long-term resident visa scheme for the investors as well as for the top management of the reputed companies. As well as we have already taken steps to fully automate the visa system with the support of Department of Immigration and Immigration. To obtain the visa, there is a simple procedure to be followed by the company. The company has to apply the visa through our visa web portal, which is provided by BOI in the online in the BOI website www.investsrilanka.com. with the required supporting documents. After verifying the application at the BOI, then we forward the applications to the Ministry of Defense to obtain their initial clearance. With the initial clearance, BOI will recommend the application to be submitted to the Department of Immigration to obtain their visas. Then the companies can obtain the visa from the Department of Immigration. That covers my, I think it covers my, covers the answer for the question.
Thank you, sir. Next question. What are the advanced IT related infrastructure available in Sri Lanka? This question will be answered by Ms. Tanuja Bandara, Investment Appraisal Department.
Yes, actually we have much developed digital infrastructure for our IT BPM companies. There are 10 telecom operators, 35 external gateway operators, and 22 internet service providers at present Sri Lanka. That's why Sri Lanka was ranked in the top 10 emerging BPR destination by Global Service Magazine. However, considering the advanced infrastructure in IT BPM sector, as stated in our Director General's presentation, digital connectivity and the fiber connectivity are much important because we are the first South Asian trial for 5G technology in 2022. And the fiber connectivity, at present, we have 3 international submarine cable under CMEV, CMEV 3, CMEV 4, and 5. CMEV 4 and 5, 75 utilized, and in 2022 first quarter, we began CMEV 6, and it is expected to be operated in the first quarter in 2025, and it will be long 19,200 kilometers from Singapore to France. Bandwidth is 120 Tbps with the latest STM technology. Under this technology, I think the companies can get high bandwidth, low latency, and high signal coverage, and very high speed connectivity. I think it will be more super benefit for our new investors in IT sector, and we will give our fullest support to get this infrastructure and telecommunication facilities to our new investors and our existing investors even. We are ready for doing that. I think it will be okay for the question.
Thank you, madam. Next question. What are the medium-term investment prospects given the current economic crisis experienced by Sri Lanka, and how will the dollar crisis impact foreign investors? This question will be answered by Ms. Renuka Veerakon, Director General, BOI.
Thank you, Arunya. In terms of the medium-term investment prospects, we have not seen any setback from our current investors and new investors. In fact, although we are facing challenging times, we've had about 60 new applications during the first half of the year, and we see continued interest by IT companies, particularly because it is easy to set up and we are known for the talent pool that is available. So medium term, we are continuing with the proposed activities that we have adapted in our strategic plan for the year and for the next 4 years. Globally, I think it is not only a phenomena in Sri Lanka. I think globally, with the war that is going on currently between Ukraine and Russia, as well as the global oil issues that are being faced, each country is facing their own challenges in terms of inflation and disruption. But disruption also brings opportunities, and I think it is time at times like this that Sri Lanka has been able to be resilient and to give the required support for investors to even grow their businesses, because with the depreciation of the rupee in terms of the dollar, I think your dollar would go a longer way in Sri Lanka now than it did earlier. So I think that would be also one of the key things that you should consider, because setting up now would be more economical for you than it was maybe 2 years ago. So do consider that, and we will be here to help you when you come over. I believe that I answered your question. Yeah, thank you.
Time constraints, we are unable to answer all the questions we have received during this webinar, but we would like to assure our audience that we have all your questions and have your email addresses that you shared with us. During the next couple of days, a BOI official will reach out to you with a response to your inquiry. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at our email address promotion@boi.lk, and for more information, visit our website www.investsrilanka.com. Both links will be provided in the chat box.